I can come and talk shit to you guys because I think after many, many years of existence from being born in 1997, I think I've accumulated enough experience for me to actually come and speak to you guys about certain topics that most people my age will not even have the courage to speak to you guys about because they're still not sure of themselves. I will not lie to you. I'm a special case. I was an old man as a kid. As a child, I was more mature than my own parents. And my parents, believe it or not, when I compare to the rest of the world, were very, very, very mature. But I was even more mature than them. That I used to question them and ask them why they would make me do certain things. I never just used to listen to them because they were my parents, because it's my mom or my dad. I questioned them every single time, relentlessly. I'll just keep going, why, why, why? And the annoying thing about why is that it can just keep going on and on. You can just keep going, why? Because the sun comes out every morning. Why? Because it's needed for light. Why? Because you need the light for energy. Why? Because the energy is going to fuel your body so that you can move around. Why? So that you can go to work and make money and take care of yourself. Why? So that you can have children and you can make sure that you can take care of yourself when you're older. Why? So that you do not pass away in a demeaning manner. Why? And you can just keep going on and on and on and on and on. And what you need to know is that most people in this world, they live like bears. They live like bears. They try to be aggressive. They try to be go-getters. They try to be carnivores. They try to attack, to hunt, instead of being an ambush predator, one who decides to wait for the moment to come to them. They decide to go out on the hunt. And the problem with that is that as much as it may be successful to a certain extent, it requires a lot from your body, which is why you see most carnivorous animals have the most shambolic deaths that you can ever witness. Because if you look at a lion, when it is old, younger lions are gonna come and they're gonna fuck the lion up. That old ass lion might have to go up against 2, 3 young male lions to protect its pride, which at an old age it's basically impossible. Like, it's destiny that the lion, if it is not killed by these young males, is going to be cast out of the pride. And from that moment on, it has to take care of itself. Because the normal has the female lions to hunt for it. It normal has a pride to do all of that work. Now, it must go out on its own because it can no more afford its services to that pride. It can no more protect the pride because it's old. This is the natural cycle and way of life. And what you'll see happen to this lion is it will be cast out into the unknown at an old age, just as the young lions who have found a new home and new pride were also cast out at a young age into the unknown, and they went and they just happened to see someone else with a pride of lion. This is the circle of life for carnivorous beings. This is what happens. It'll be good for a moment, but when it's bad, it's going to be fucking bad. Because The same things that you have done are going to be done to you. And it's just the way that it is. So that lion is going to be cast out, and it's going to go out, and it's going to have to hunt for itself. But now this is an old fucking lion. So it cannot even hunt because it is old. Do you understand? So what do you think is going to fucking happen to this lion? If it does not, the only way is that the Almighty intervenes, and then somehow maybe this lion comes across a dead animal, an animal that died naturally, and it scavenges on this animal. If that does not happen, then the lion is fucked. The lion is going to starve to death, and that'll be the end of it. That's how it ends, and that's how it goes. This is the brutal cycle for lions and most carnivorous beings and predators. This is just the way that it is. Once you decide to live your life in that way, you have to accept the consequences, good or bad. Because there's nothing wrong with living in that way. You just have to understand that there are consequences, good or bad. Simple as that. And it's up to you to decide whether you're willing to take those consequences upon yourself or not. However, at the end of it all, if you become that starving lion, you cannot blame anyone else because that is the path that you chose. Do you understand? This is all about taking responsibility for the paths that you chose, and it ties down into what I actually wanted to speak about, which is the decision of what you will do for the rest of your life when you are very young is the most important decision that you're ever going to make in your life. No other decision will be as important as what you do with your life, because what you do with your life is ultimately going to provide you with the sustenance to continue your life. So if you choose something that is very easy and that has a low level of a low barrier for entry, meaning that almost anyone can do it, then ultimately you have to understand that it might not be able to sustain you towards the end of your life, because the barrier to entry is very low, meaning that anyone can do it and you can be easily replaced. Meaning once you get old, such as the lion, you will be replaced by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 younger lions. Do you fucking understand what I'm trying to say? I think you understand what I'm trying to say. I really think you do. Because people do not see the finesse that happens in life. They do not notice how they get pulled into something that they do not even understand the consequences of that thing. They just enjoy the highs, not realizing that lows are going to come anyways. But they cannot accept them, even though that is the path that they chose, when there are alternative paths that you can choose. And the best path that you could ever choose is to acquire a skill. Acquire a mental skill, not a physical, a mental skill, because the physical body is going to succumb to aging, the environment, your habits, and all of those things. So naturally, the physical body is going to deteriorate and decline. And at some point, granted that even some of the things that you do lead to a faster decline, At some point, you'll not be able to do the things that you're doing right now. And that is the reality for each and every single person on this planet. And at that point, what will you do? Because you cannot work anymore. You have no skills, meaning that you must starve. I pray you're in a first world country and you have a government that is going to take care of you. Because if not, which is the majority of the world, the majority of the population are not in that situation, ultimately you're going to be fucked. You're going to be fucked, completely fucked. And this will be it. This, as I told you, this is the way of life of carnivorous beings. This is the way of life. This will be the end. And you're going to starve till the end, and that is it. And you'll go, younger lions will be in your place, and the younger lions will go through the same path. Younger lions will always, always show up to replace the older lions. And that is the way that it is. And that is why you need to acquire mental skills that are going to allow you to work past retirement, that are going to allow you to work past the point where most people's physical bodies have broken down. That is going to allow you to work till you're 100 years old. Because you see presidents there, man, where I come from, see presidents 90 years old, 91. This man's is literally falling asleep whilst people are making the speech and whatnot. And they're still voting him in as president because they have a structure, they have a way that things are done. And it was this man's mind that created it all. So without this man, it makes it very hard for them to continue prospering off of that structure. Without this man, it changes everything. All of the people beneath him will change. So all of the people beneath him have a vested interest in making sure that he stays on top for as long as possible. Because if he stays on top for as long as possible, they are all going to get paid. They're all going to get their salaries. They're all going to keep their jobs. As soon as a new president comes in, what happens? New parliament, new ministers, new people in the offices, everything completely changes because you do not want to keep the past in the present, because the past is always going to want to revert back to the past. So every time you try to make a new change and you have these people that were used to working for this other man, they're going to be like, but we never used to do it like that. We never used to do that. He didn't teach us like that. I don't think I'll be able to. You see all of the roadblocks that you're going to stumble upon because these people are still carrying the mindset of the person that they're working for before. However, that is not the point of this video. The point of this video is that you need to pick mental skills that will sustain you for a very, 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 very long time. You need to become a herbivore. You need to be a vegetarian, my friend, because as you can see, vegetarians do not need to hunt. The grass is everywhere. All that is required is your migration and you going to the places where the grass is. But once you get there, the grass is there. Of course, not an easy part, because when you migrate, you're going to come across many, many things within your environment, including the predators. But it's always worth the destination because you know that the grass is almost unlimited, if not unlimited, because grass will always keep growing. No matter what, it will always be there. There will always be grass on the planet. But I can tell you right now, there are certain species of animals that have gone extinct from this planet that no more exist to be seen again. Never. And that is the reality of this reality. So Which side would you rather choose? Would you rather go out on the hunt, risk your life on the hunt, expend energy on the hunt, or risk your life to migrate and to feed off of the grass and the vegetation? Two choices. Two choices. The carnivorous way will lead to faster results. However, it'll be a agonizingly slow demise because you will starve. And it takes a long time for the body to starve because the body is going to fight starvation for as long as it possibly can, but inevitably you're going to get old. You will not live forever. Or you're on the other side where the grass is always green. At times, and at times you have to wait for the grass to grow. Meaning that at times there'll be no grass, at times you have to migrate to areas where there's grass. However, as long as you find grass, then you know that you are good and that you will not die from starvation, but you'll most likely die from old age. Simple as that. Those are the parts that you have to choose. And it all starts with the decision that you make when you decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So all of the people that are like 18, 19, 20, 21, up to 30, all of those people have decisions to make, or they've already made their decisions. However, they must understand the consequences of those decisions. Because at the end of the day, what is happening today will not be what is happening tomorrow. Things are constantly changing. The environment is constantly changing. And it's going to change whether you like it or not.